Hi there, I'm Di Methley and I'm the Business Studies teacher at Ralph Allen School. I've put together a short presentation here for you in the hope that it will answer most of your questions, but I've also included my email on the last slide just in case you've got any other questions after the evening. The course is split into 2 years, and the first year is very much an introductory year. And for those students who haven't done business studies at GCSE, it means that you're not at a disadvantage to anybody who has. We move into the 4 functional areas, the main functional areas of most businesses, and we look at their decision-making processes. And then in year 2, we're starting to look at international business, global business, mergers and acquisitions, and a more in-depth use of evaluation and analysis. So student skills are being built across the 2 years in readiness for their exams. The exams are at the end of year 13, and you can see that it's 3 papers, 2 hours long, and they're each testing slightly different skills. So the first paper is very much about knowledge and recall. The second paper is starting to expect a little bit more analysis, looking at 3 different business situations with different problems, and students have to decide how they might solve those. And then the final paper is giving students a lot of data to process and to analyse before they then answer the questions associated with that particular business. Typical multiple choice question on paper 1. Short answer question. Usually they range between 6 and 8 marks. And then finally the heavier marks on the essays in paper 1. You get 2 of these, and there may be an essay question in paper 3 as well. But really we start working with students on these after half term in year 12, around about now, October time, November time, and we're building on those skills of being able to look at a question, unpick the question, decide which areas of the syllabus is actually going to be useful in answering the question or solving the problem. And we concentrate on those exam skills constantly throughout the course. As a result of that, you will see that business studies has done quite well over the last few years, and our students are strong, the groups are growing, the popularity of business studies is growing, and I'm very pleased about that. And the current 2 groups we have, year 13 going into 2021, very strong group, and I hope for the best for them. And we've got quite a large group in year 12 who gel together, work well together, and that's what we like to see, some enthusiastic students who have a curiosity for business and how it works and how it solves its problems. We teach through a variety of styles. We make use of PowerPoints, we make use of textbooks, not too much. We tend to rely on students going away and reading up to complement things that we've covered in the lessons. We also subscribe to an agency called Tutor2You, who supply us with the end of unit tests, worksheets and case studies that are very specific and very topical and very up to date. And we also try to take the students in March of year 13 to a grade booster conference, and that's where they can look at exam skills, and Tutor2You staff who are very experienced can do that in an entertaining way. They're 20-minute sessions across the course of a full day, so students are moving constantly and being tested in different areas so that it keeps the interest throughout the day. And we found it very successful, and students have come away feeling a little bit more prepared for the exam in the June. We looked at skills, trying to identify the kinds of skills that business studies can offer you. But to be honest, looking at any of these, you probably get these across many of your A levels, and they are transferable. So, you know, if you do them really well in one subject, there's no reason why they shouldn't transfer to another one. But any of these skills would be something that a future employer would be looking for. Business interest is growing in terms of the numbers of small to medium-sized enterprises which are forming year on year. With the current situation and people losing jobs, being made redundant, being furloughed, etc., we find that perhaps students would be better prepared for that kind of situation with this background knowledge in business, and may consider setting up their own business themselves. A lot of the students that come through to us, their parents run their own businesses, and if you are one of those parents, you're going to be a resource that we're going to push our students to talk to. Complementary subjects, students often say, well, what does business studies go well with? So I've chosen 4 in particular that I felt illustrated a good link with business studies. Geography, obviously, through the human aspect of geography, very much a crossover, and students who take geography and business studies will see the links quite strongly. Psychology, purely because of understanding the way that people think. If you decide that you want to study business studies and become a manager, then perhaps, you know, understanding the way that people think will help you with your teams. With sociology, sometimes that's very helpful in a marketing concept, where businesses are looking at how they could focus services or products to particular groups of society and looking at demographic changes. And then finally, there are a lot of business studies courses at university that offer a language as well, and sometimes a placement in the country where that language originates, and so students might be interested in that. Career opportunities, I've just picked out a few. It's not an exhaustive list, and to be honest, business studies would suit any kind of work. But just in case you hadn't really thought about what am I going to be doing in 2 years' time, it's just to start you thinking. Um, a few statistics there about the kinds of industries that business and management students tend to go into. Interesting there that hospitality, leisure and tourism is an area that has been growing year on year. How it's going to be affected by the current situation, we're not sure. But again, that makes business studies interesting in trying to analyse that as well. Well, hopefully that's answered most of your questions. As I've said before, please do get in touch if you have any other questions. Either students can get in touch with me directly using the email, or parents and carers could get in touch and ask a little bit more about the course itself. But hopefully it's spiked your interest, and I look forward to seeing many of you next September.